And I'm just like, I just need a few more, but now I'm at 29.91. I need
20
9.
2,991. So you're that close to 3,000 subs.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, I had no idea. I don't remember. Oh, we're live, by the way. I
Oh,
always go right at the top of the hour, and a lot of times I don't give my guest warning because if they're not looking at the clock, oh well. But I'm a Marine, and 0900 means 0900, not 1 second before, not 1 second after. Anyway, um, there was a tweet I responded to, like, what are some YouTube channels that you never miss, no matter what? And the atheist ones are R and Raw, you, and there's a couple others, and that it's true. It is true. I mean, as far as quality content goes, you can't get any better. And uh, you know, as long as you were in the church, and I mean, what was the show we did together on the five tenets of
Calvinism.
Calvinism? Yes,
Mm-hmm.
the tulip
Mm-hmm.
theory. I had no. You're teaching me stuff all the damn time, and I thought I knew religion pretty well. So, like student Dr. Ben, subject matter expert on that whole the medical side and trans issues, and you know, uh, there's some I just don't miss. Uh, anyway, well, that's a great segue. Kelly's here. Godless Granny's here. We're gonna. Well, you know what? This is an open mic, so we're not just gonna talk about the future of the show, but that's where I'm gonna start. If you all look in the description section, you'll see the actual join link for this. So anyone, just come on, and even trolls, I don't care. Whoever that SpongeBob was,
I
there
love
was a
talking
troll.
to trolls.
Did you see the SpongeBob one? They came on and they just had a doll of SpongeBob and they were using SpongeBob voice, and it was funny. We were playing with
No,
it.
I didn't. Who
It's fun.
was that? Whose channel was that on?
It was on my channel.
Oh,
The
on
last
yours.
open mic I did where anyone was invited.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Okay. Yeah,
at
I'll have
least
to go watch that.
the ones that I don't really, not that I'm giving you guys any ideas, is the ones that come on and try to screen share porn and try to get me demonetized or
Mm.
the channel deleted. So, or at least the video deleted. Hey, Maya. Serenus, and I thought I saw Native Atheist or KCA Randy before we went
Yeah,
live.
Casey and Randy was there.
Yeah. Okay. So, uh, the original plan was to join the Ukrainian Territorial Defense Force, the Ukrainian Legion, because I was going to become a Legionnaire at 54, which means I was going to join the 16,000. I think it's up to 20,000 now. 20,000 foreign fighters inside Ukraine. Which is just damn awesome. Hats off to the Estonians, the UK, Canada. They're coming from all over, and now it's looking like I didn't think there was any United States because I was looking at the official releases, and I wasn't seeing any U.S. citizens over there, but it looks like there are. So I was going to do that. I was getting ready. A friend of mine was had the ball rolling on it a week prior to me. He had a week head start, and not only having a 1 week head start, he also had his passport because he's been a hired gun longer than he was an active duty Marine. He got out. He didn't retire like me. He got out of the Marine Corps, joined an organization that remained nameless, but it's basically contract hired guns. And so he's been in Afghanistan and Iraq as a civilian more than he as a Marine. His passport's been up to date, so I've got a lot of catching up to do. It takes 4 to 6 weeks to get your passport renewed, and plus I had the old military, the maroon one, so I got to get it traded out for a blue, like a civilian one. Yeah, Maya, you know what? When I first thought about doing this, I didn't think of it as a suicide mission, but you know what? I'm talking too much, Granny. Let's talk about just what's going on over there because that's a great segue too. I'm reading. Was this yesterday? Well, see, they're kind of a day ahead of us. Russian forces strike a school in Mariupol. Mariupol. Okay, so they were sheltering 400 people in this school in Mariupol. Not only did it get hit by a Russian strike, which is totally against Geneva Convention. You guys, you got to know that. You can't deliberately target civilians. But now the residents of Mariupol, the ones that are still remaining in the city, are being shipped to Russia. They're being displaced.
Oh, really? I had not
Yeah,
heard that.
dude, that is
Wow.
so against every rule. But
Do they have
um,
concentration camps there for them? Are they putting them in prisons? Where are they going?
well, the last time this happened, maybe not the last time this happened, but we remember the Gulag, right, in Siberia and work camps and
Right. Well, I
yeah.
was thinking also the Nazi concentration camps, the Russians had concentration camps that were just as bad as the Nazi camps. In fact, one history book I read said that some of the practices that the Nazis used were actually patterned after what they learned as POWs in the Russian camps.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Um, oh, also, before we went live, here's how tactful Godless Granny is. She goes, "Jim, you look kind of tired." And I'm looking at myself right now. That is very tactful, Kelly. I mean, thank you. I look like a sack of a sea bag full of doorknobs. I know that. But Um, oh, well, my life's an open book. I'd make this public, but it is pretty much common knowledge. I don't know if you guys know, but my wife and I have been separated, but still cohabitating for like at least 6 years, probably more. I've been sleeping on the couch. And what's been different about these 6 years? Well, it's been since I've been retired. Our entire marriage was based on me being gone, deployed 7 months out of every year. That's what some marriages, that's how they work. That's how they thrive. And that's what ours was built on. That's so once I retired and my fat asses are sitting around the house all the time and she has to look at my face 12 months out of every year, I think that's when things started. And I'm not saying that's why things went to shit, but but now that I'm gearing up to go back into the fight, we have been nothing but getting along. Go figure. So me looking like crap is a lot of Bloody Marys last night on the back porch, enjoying the sunset, playing Scrabble with my wife. So yeah, I don't know.
If you
Things are,
don't
yeah.
If you don't mind me interjecting a bit of speculation, and I could be completely off base, but here's where I think she's coming from. She's used to a lot of autonomy. And when you come back and you're there all the time, she loses that autonomy. And when you're leaving again, she's getting her autonomy back.
Son of a bitch! You know that never even dawned on me. I thought she was just tired of looking at me, but yeah, and I'm not a controlling person. I mean,
Mhm.
really,
Yeah, and you don't have to be. It's just the
just being
difference
here.
of right. Mhm.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's why I look like shit. What we talked about? Oh, and then Kelly and I, before the show, I said we were talking about the GOP and how it's basically it's the biggest schism I've ever seen in my life. You know, the mainstream Republicans are totally pro Ukraine, yeah, you know, but then you've got the Trump idiots that are super nationalistic, isolationist to the point, like just America first is their motto. So this huge split with the Trumpers that are almost not even almost. I mean, they're pro Russia in many cases. So, oh, got it. Just seeing the GOP just split down the middle like this is just so damn delicious. So, what do you think, Kelly?
I think that's a really interesting event, and I'm really happy to see it because my biggest fear is seeing a comeback by Trump, and unfortunately, there are still too many Trump loyalists, and there are too many mainstream GOP that are afraid to defy Trump. But one thing that I saw recently that I think might have an effect is the way that Trump threw Mo Brooks under the bus. Mo Brooks is my congressman. Um, Fun fact, Mo Brooks blocked me on Twitter. I'll get to that in a minute.
Oh wow.
Um, yeah, it's for a very interesting tweet, which was neither profane nor untrue. But anyway, um, Mo Brooks is one of the people that spoke in favor of Trump at the January 6th insurrection. Mo Brooks came in body armor. I mean, he clearly knew what was going to be going on because he showed up in body armor and spoke in favor of Trump and helped to rally Trump's people to the insurrection. And now, um, and okay, Mo Brooks is a congressman right now, but he's currently running for Senate, and the primaries are coming up in early May. And now Trump has thrown Mo Brooks under the bus and has threatened to withdraw his endorsement. And his endorsement is the only thing that Mo Brooks is even running on. Hours after Trump threatened to withdraw his endorsement, Brooks put out another ad, a campaign ad, where his primary push is I am endorsed by President Trump. One thing that is absolutely hilarious is what I am seeing on local television, which is those people who are running against Brooks in the primary are running against him, accusing him of being too liberal. They accuse him of having voted with the Democrats on a couple of bills, and one of the dirtiest words in Alabama is Nancy Pelosi.
Oh,
And you hear these ads saying Mo Brooks voted with Nancy Pelosi, and I'm it's just hilarious that they consider Mo Brooks to be too liberal.
I just found this out. Tell me if this is wrong, but I heard that to to be a member of a political party, like if you're a Democrat, to stay in good standing with the Democratic National Committee or the RNC, you just all that's required is you have to vote 90% or plus 90% or more of all your the legislation you vote on has to be in line with their policies,
Mm.
with their
I
platform.
I
So you
did
can only
not know
split
that.
from them for 10% of your, yeah.
That's interesting.
Like
That's really
Manchin
interesting.
and what's her name? You know, the ones that are voting against the infrastructure bill. That's one of their that you know. But as long as they stay above 90%, they can stay technically Democrats, even though, like Joe Manchin, it remains to be seen whether he is or not. So Maya, did she bring up the idea of a suicide mission? Back onto that. Oh, this is an open chat. This is an open mic, guys. The join link is in the description section. Maya, native atheist. Linda, you're making some good points in there. If you want to jump in too, this is not just me and Kelly. Anyone that come on and grab a cup of coffee and come in. We're here for at least an hour. Um, what was I saying? Okay, so I was going to I was going to be a Legionnaire. I was going to be, like the French Foreign Legion. People have heard of them. Well, the Ukrainians have a Foreign Legion, and they're 20,000 foreign volunteers strong right now. Um, this was 3 weeks ago. I slapped the table. I said, I'm doing it. And so I traded in my old passports and I applied for the new one. That takes 4 to 6 weeks. So I got that. I greased the skids on that. That's going to take another, hopefully within the next 3 weeks, or maybe a month, I'll have that passport back. I paid the extra $30 and got it expedited. We'll see how that goes, but it looks like it's clogged. I'm reading that a lot of people are now the COVID restrictions, travel restriction, people are traveling more. So the passport applications are kind of clogged up. So we'll see. I'm going to say 1 month. So the future of this channel, it's going to stay the same for at least a month, probably. But instead of joining I'm getting ahead of myself. Not only do I think it could be a suicide mission, like someone said, it's more so now than it was 3 weeks ago. Um, what they're doing. Nick, can you imagine this? I'm in Kiev and I'm part of the Ukrainian Foreign Legion. And so what happens in Kiev? What happened in Mariupol happens in Kiev. Let's just say, and it gets overrun. Russians, the Ukrainians start getting you put on trains to Russia, like it's happened in Mariupol. What happens to Ukrainian Defense Force, who Putin has already said these foreign fighters are not mercenaries. They don't follow. They're not considered lawful combatants. We don't have to give them, any special, under the law of war. They're basically treated as terrorist organization. You can imagine what they would do to a U.S. citizen if they got their hands on me. What the hell am I thinking? thinking I'm a lawful combatant, it would be blow torches and pliers at the very least. That you know what? And if I was worried about being in harm's way, I wouldn't even have thought about it. I mean, I really one of the plus sides is my bucket list is empty. I've been to combat already numerous times. Um, and I really have zero regard for my own personal safety. So there's no reason not to go. And I'm retired. I make the same amount of money sitting on my fat ass right now doing YouTube shows than I would if I was over there helping out. I make the same amount of money no matter where I'm at. Those are the plus sides. The downside is, well, I saw a a disturbing video, and I wasn't able to fact check it, but it was a it was a guy that I guess he was in Poland when he made the video, but he claimed that he was part of the Ukrainian Legion, and he had a laundry list of things that the Ukrainians, his treatment by the Ukrainians, his host, the hosts, taking his passport, confiscating it. There was rumors that the foreign passports were being ripped up, and your 3-month commitment or your 1-year commitment, whatever you sign up for, that goes away. You're going to stay here as long as we want you to, and if you try to leave, we shoot you in the back. I wasn't able to corroborate any of what this guy was saying. I heard some information since then that countered that debunked it, but also I've been hearing a lot of things that kind of support that the Ukrainians themselves are not really treating the foreign fighters right. Like there's a shortage of weapons. They'll send you out on night patrols to look for Russian paratroopers without a weapon. What? Oh, thank you. No, I'm not going to do that. Anyway, I know I'm rambling. Long story short, I'm switching gears. I want to go help still. I'm looking at United Nations peacekeeping forces or an NGO. I'm looking at UNICEF and Red Cross. But the one I'm looking at right now is United Nations. It's unv.org, United Nations Volunteers.org. And there's a million ways to volunteer. For my skill set, I think I'd be good at like compound security, perimeter security. Maybe driving trucks, convoys from Kiev to Warsaw, or from Kiev to Lviv to the border, because a lot of these refugees, these women and children, are walking 50 plus miles. If they've got, I'm sure UN's got convoys set up for transportation. So um, not every NGO, not every volunteer would be willing to take a humanitarian convoy into Lviv. I have no reservations. I would do that. I'm down with that. And so I'm going to try to help, but not through the Ukrainian Legion. That being said, when I do finally go wheels up, I feel like there's a better than even chance I will be going overseas. So I'm starting to prepare. And the reason Kelly's here is I asked her in my absence if there's going to be very little, if any at all, chances of uploading fresh content while I'm there. And if it is, if I'm lucky enough to find a hotspot, a Wi-Fi, and maybe, like a 1-minute clip, just an update of where I am or something. Not OPSEC, not exactly where I am, but what's going on. So that'd be at the best I could upload, like just quick little updates. But to keep this channel running, I've asked Godless Granny to I don't want Kelly, I don't want you going out of your way to upload like specifically unique, fresh content for Atheist Edge. My plan was that whatever, like a live show you do on your show or something pre-recorded you do on your show, maybe a week later after, all your viewers have had a chance to kind of mirror it on my channel, just to keep the algorithm moving. And, or, you know what, I would be happy with you not even, no more content on the show, but at least you have the passwords in case I don't come back. You've got the passwords. You can at least keep it. You can do a post every now and then, or a final post, a final video, or just for archival purposes, so it doesn't disappear completely. I don't know. What are your thoughts so far?
Okay. First, yeah, I like the idea of going ahead and mirroring whatever I do onto your channel, because that is not much work at all. I can easily do that. Um, I do need to, make sure I line up some decent guests so we can get some decent viewers. That's not a big issue. Every now and then I'm throwing together shows at the last minute because I failed to get some guests early enough. But even then, there are certain people who are always willing to come on my show, and so I can always get something together. The produced videos, I do plan to keep doing that, so it's no big deal, putting a mirror up on that. And before we came on, I came up with an idea, for a name for myself when I'm on your channel. Is I think I'm going to be Edgy Granny, Edgy Granny.
Edgy Granny. I like it. That's good. Well, now, yeah, before the show, that is funny. Before the show, we talked about you're under some delusion that my channel is so much bigger. Well, based on maybe like total number, like fan base, maybe. But
Mhm,
in
mhm.
that's it. That's where it stops. I mean, as far as active viewers per week, you're bigger than me. So don't feel like you need to like. I mean, can you get the big names? Absolutely. You've had big names on your show already. I just don't want you to feel compelled to do specific, tailored, unique shows on my channel. Then you're basically running into who knows how much you don't have that kind of time. And I know how much time you put into your scripted material. I don't want to add any more work, is what I'm saying is. So bare
Yeah, I
minimum.
realize what you're
Yeah.
saying, but I'm actually putting less and less time in as I'm getting better and better at editing and learning more and more tricks. It's taking less and less time to do the same things.
So yeah, okay. It might happen really quick. As of right now, I mean, best case scenario, I'm wheels up in like a month. It could be 6 months even though. So this is me just kind of mentally prepping everyone and my patrons, my channel subscribers. If uh, when it does happen, I'm going to send an email to my patrons, post to the channel subscribers, anyone that's financially supporting me on a regular basis. I'm going to let them know personally there's a good chance that content there won't be regularly uploaded content. If there is, it's going to be done by Godless Granny. So in the interim, or maybe permanently, if I for some reason don't come back, if you want to switch your patronage from Atheist Edge directly to Godless Granny's Patreon, for instance, I would encourage that. Um, yeah,
One thing that I would like to do, and I think it would be good for your viewers as well, is if you can send me occasional updates of where you are and what you're doing when you can, and saying what you can say. I'd be happy to share that with your viewers.
great idea. Great idea. Yes, I will. Someone at the top of the show said, "Are you leaving again, Jim?" Because they saw the title, "The Future of the." Are you leaving again? And I thought, yeah, there was that time. I was. It was. I don't like perpetuating drama. It was the time that Cheshire Vic and I just got a bad taste in my mouth, and I said, "Screw this community," and I basically went on a hiatus for what was it, 6, 7 months. But guess what? During that entire 6, 7 months, go back and look if you don't believe me. I still, I had so much. I had such a backlog of material at the time. It was during that huge video project I did, 89 episodes. So I had
Mm,
23 episodes already produced to like
mhm.
at any given time between 15 and 25, maybe uh, just sitting in the can waiting to go out. So it stayed regularly. I stayed uploading regular content at least once a week, even during that 7 month hiatus. So I don't know when you say when you're leaving again, but yeah, I can see what you mean. You said something about comparing your congressman to the attack ad, the attack campaign ad that compared him to Nancy Pelosi and how that's a dirty word in Republican. It's funny because my my dad had to go up to the casino to get his tax statements, his win loss, for doing taxes, and so I tagged along with him. I ended up winning 330 and he won 1400 dad won 1400 on slot machines. I don't know how anyone does that. But the whole way up there, I just tried to keep it amicable. Don't rock the boat. If he brings up any Fox News talking points, just to let it roll. Don't confront him. But then when he said, "Oh, we were talking about the Super Bowl," was it the San Francisco 49ers were one of the ones in the Super Bowl? I don't know if they won. I didn't even watch it, but I said something about the 49ers. They look like they have a good chance. And he goes, "Screw them." I was like, whoa, whoa. Since when have the 49ers been? I didn't know you just hated a team that much. He goes, "Yeah, because they're from San Francisco and so is Nancy Pelosi." He was drawing that. He was equating that just because they're from the same city or in the same city. I'm like, oh man, that is just off the boat.
Mm.
You have completely lost touch with reality. I'm going to hate
So
this team because Nancy Pelosi is in the same city. What?
this-
Oh,
along those lines, the tweet that got me blocked from Mo Brooks's Twitter was Representative Eric Swalwell of California. I don't remember where in California, but he has filed a lawsuit against several people who were involved in the January 6th insurrection. And one of the people that he has sued in that suit is Mo Brooks. And he tried for about 4 months to serve Mo Brooks with that suit, but Brooks kept ducking the process servers. Um, he would not disclose his schedule. He would, he would keep himself locked away where process servers couldn't reach him. Well, finally, the process servers were able to serve him, and the way they were able to do it was his wife had gone out for whatever reason, shopping to the dentist, I don't know. But when she returned, while the garage door was open, and Mo Brooks has this all on video camera from his own security cameras, the process server pulls in extremely fast to try to get there before that garage door closes and jumps out of his car, runs into the garage, and hands her the papers. And Brooks had a hissy fit over the way that his wife was served. How dare you serve my wife? And I said, well, they wouldn't have had to if you hadn't been hiding behind your wife's skirts.
shit.
And that's what got me blocked from my own congressman's Twitter.
I wonder if he did it personally or he's got assistants running his social media. That is
Most likely it was his
hilarious.
assistants.
Yeah,
Because,
still though, that's
he did list three things as to what he would block people for. Profanity. It did not contain any profanity. Untruth. There was nothing in there that was untrue.
technically no.
And
Literally.
I don't remember what the third thing was. Actually, I could even look it up.
While you're doing
I
that,
started
oh
a
yeah.
second. I started a second Twitter account just so I could follow Mo Brooks and what he's doing.
Um, Ted Cruz is my senator.
Oh yeah,
I'll see your Mo book and I'll raise you a Ted Cruz. Oh God.
yeah. His
So
third thing is
yeah, go
his
ahead.
third thing is defamation. I guess you could technically say it was defamation.
Yeah.
I accused him of being a coward. Yeah, okay.
This is a open mic, guys. Kelly and I have plenty to talk about to fill up an hour or 90 minutes or so, but it is an open mic. The join link is at the very top of the description section. If you just want to jump in, grab a cup of coffee and join us. I was talking about the pros and cons of going. The pro is I make this same amount of disability and retirement pay, whether I'm sitting here on my fat ass in the States or if I'm over there helping out. And I was talking to somebody. I'm going to be speaking at another Unitarian Universalist church on April 3rd. If you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, so it was a representative from this church that asked me to come speak. And the topic this time is ambassadors of atheism. So I've got like 20 slides to run through, and I only get like 30 minutes to talk. It's during their actual service. So I'm gonna have to fly through these slides. I'm used to going more than 30 minutes, but it's basically how to be a good example, good representative of atheism, a positive. So it was putting a positive face on atheism, how to go about doing that. Anyway, that's April 3rd. And so the pastor, I guess you'd call it, or a congregant from that church was asking me, like, what, uh, reminded me that I'm 54 years old and 90% disabled. And what the hell are you doing? You got, you're retired. I'm approaching my like twilight years. This is supposed to be I'm supposed to be just playing a lot of disc golf right now. That was the original plan. I could not live with myself if I didn't go and try to do something. Um, Call it a warrior mentality, the warrior class of society. And I used to think that was maybe genetic. I don't think it is. I think you can develop if you that sense of protecting your fellow humans, from obvious. This was, this was clear cut. Oh, that's another thing. Every time I went overseas and fought the global war on terrorism, which, what is that? It sounds vague and nebulous and arbitrary. How do you fight terrorism? I think we did a lot of good over there. I think a lot of bad guys that could do other people harm, I made them room temperature. That was a good thing. I don't have any problems with that. Um, we went there under false pretenses. I do have a problem with that. My dad went to Vietnam under false pretenses. I have a problem with that. I'm a Spanish linguist, so most of my 21-year career was in the Caribbean and South and Central America, fighting a war on what drug. And the DEA and the DOD. Guess what percentage of the total amount of drugs that coming into the states that we intercept? Less than 1%. So all that intel, the entire intelligence community, we're only scooping up 1% of the incoming. And a lot of that is marijuana. And 13 states, say, it just feels like kind of futile. So either my entire active duty time on active duty was either under false pretenses or kind of futile or unnecessary. This is my chance. Unless you're a Trump supporter, the vast majority of the world population right now sees what's going on and sees this as a blatant provocation of sovereign country being unprovoked attacked. This seems like the most just cause anyone could ever do. And if it's just passing out water, or there's a lot of children without, a lot of the parents are staying in Ukraine. Even the moms are helping, and they're just sending their kids to the border. So now we got 3 million people in Poland so far. The vast majority of them are children. So if I'm running a daycare somewhere in a town near the border, or even in Warsaw, if I'm helping the children there, got someone coming in. Oh, they're not connected. Might be a troll, Kelly. Get ready. I'll help any way I can. And God, I was so pompous when I said someone with my skill set being sent there to pass out water. I compared it to Mozart being sent to an opera just to raise and lower the stage screen, the curtain. That is the most narcissistic thing I've probably ever said in my life. I've got a skill set, but if I don't get a chance to use that, I'm going to help out any way I can. That's the bottom line. Another downside, I've been hearing that life insurance doesn't pay out if you are in country. Like it gets really gray area. If you're in a hostile country as a combatant or a non-combatant, you lose your life. So life insurance payouts can get kind of sticky. And I want to make sure my family, because if I'm worth $4,500 a month right now, alive, and I'm worth absolutely nothing to my family dead. So if something were to happen over there, they would lose, what is that, times 12? That's a lot of money yearly. That
Your wife
income
should get
gone.
Social Security widow benefits.
Is there Social Security widow benefits?
There is. Okay. Now,
Oh,
there's also something called the widow's gap period. Are any of your children still minors?
no, 24 and
Okay.
21, but they still live at home.
Doesn't
But
matter.
they're fully prepared to. So right now they're basically free ride. They're just saving money, right? They're working, but if something happened to me, they could step up, and at least my wife could keep the house, because it would be 3 incomes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But your wife would get Social Security widow benefits if you die, but she won't get benefits for the children because they are not minors.
Yeah, that was a troll. I'm just now
Yeah,
seeing in the
it
private chat.
was.
Whoo,
Yeah,
wow.
I thought you saw that.
No. Well, see,
Sorry,
if it's in the
I
private
could have.
chat, it's not gonna affect. No, you need to warn
Right.
me though. I was gonna let them come on.
Oh,
I'm so
oh,
naive. I didn't
okay.
see
All
the
right.
private
Now
chat
I
doesn't
know to
affect
say something.
monetization. Yeah.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. And nobody saw the private chat except you and me. And we are not going to tell you what it said.
Oh, no, 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 no. It's trolly. You've been doing YouTube long enough. Trolls don't affect you. Did trolls when you first started? How self-conscious were you being on camera and your voice on camera and dealing with trolls and just the thin skin? I mean, how have you changed since you started?
Not a whole lot. My undergrad major was in mass media, and I took a heavy uh, emphasis in television production. So I produced my own show on a local TV channel back before YouTube existed, back before the internet existed. And so being on camera was not that big a deal to me. The only thing I ever have a fear of is dead air. And so if I will occasionally jump in and I might have a guest that's thinking about what to say, but I am so afraid of dead air that if they don't come up with their thought or finish their thought soon enough, I'll just go ahead and jump in. Um, is that was not a big deal to me. I guess some of the things that have really changed for me are, oh gosh, yeah, trolls. As far as the trolls go, I have had trolls that have put comments with links to stuff you wouldn't want there, but those are easy to deal with. You just simply delete them. It's no big deal. But I have never put out a link that was available free to anyone. When I'll throw links into the private chats that I'm in on Twitter and invite people in, anyone who wants to come.
Right.
But and if I see someone in the chat that wants to come in, I'll throw them a link. I think once I put a link into the chat directly because there was someone that wanted to enter, and I didn't know who they were on Twitter. I didn't know how to reach them there. But I didn't have any issues with that. It was midstream, and it was gone fairly quickly. So that has not been an issue for me. But as far as trolls go, with regards to comments, I've had occasionally people, but the only time I've had anyone that was truly offensive is when I have trans people on my show. I People can be really, really offensive toward trans people.
That's heartbreaking.
One thing that was
Damn it.
kind of funny though is Matt Walsh is one of the worst people when it comes to trans people, and he had a tweet that I responded to recently that had nothing to do with trans people at all. It had to do with women's tennis. He was complaining that, I don't remember her name, the tennis star that had an emotional breakdown over being heckled, and he was commenting about how that it was so terrible that she had done this, and my response to him, some of his viewers saw the trans flag in my Twitter description, and so someone accused me of being male. They said, "Silence, male," and I said, "Oh, I'm a male. Does that mean I need to give back the 4 children that I gave birth to?"
Um, when when I first started, it was literally the day after the ad apocalypse. You guys remember that in March, April-ish, or the end of March, early April, 2017. That's when I started this channel. Just the weirdest irony, but it was the day after the ad apocalypse, which kind of helped my channel, helped me grow because a lot of these big fish that are relying on their YouTube channel for their income, they had to go and get real work, because that's when if you just Google ad apocalypse and YouTube, and you'll see what happened for the big channel. Some were losing 90% of their ad revenue right off the
Oh,
top.
wow.
Yeah, and so there was a huge mass exodus of that's when, some of the big names, you saw Dark Matter not really posting as much. Bionic Dance left. Non-stamp collector, some of the old school people, they started dropping away, and so it kind of left a void for channels like me. I think it might have helped because I still to this day ad revenue plus book sales plus merch plus Patreon plus channel subscribers all combined. I maybe pull in maybe on a good month $300. So I'm definitely not doing this as my primary means of income. So went back in those days. It was Google Hangouts when we streamed live. Google Hangouts, and when people would jump in, it was in Google. I don't think they. I cross my fingers. So I give this join link sometimes these open mics. I just put it in the description section. Like now, anyone can come in and talk. Um, I don't think if they started posting stuff that would get me my channel banned or whatever, I can just get rid of them quickly. And they really can't manipulate the channel any more than that. They got a couple seconds to try to be a troll. I've identified them. Boom, they're gone. Easy. I could even keep monetization. But Google Hangouts, when you let some rando in, they can hijack your entire channel and shut the stream down. They'll play like 10
Mm.
seconds of porn and then they shut your stream down and kick everyone out. And that happened probably twice before I started getting wise to it and like I can't do that anymore. But with you, when you first started, what I like about you is um, you didn't seem to have the same problem I did early on. Uh, you were talking about dead air, and you just seemed like a much better host from the get-go. So I could tell people like you, that it's pretty obvious if you have a public speaking you come from a public speaking background. I did not. I had to just learn it the hard way, trial and error. But my my huge thing was stepping on people. I would have a panel on, and I would just step on the conversation. I was the interrupter. Like I go back and watch some of the old stuff now. I just cringe. Like, stop talking, Jim. Stop talking. I just step on people, and it took forever to learn to just be. You're very patient, and you let the show you keep the show going. But oftentimes, I mean, you'll have an entire show and you'll add your things, but basically you're silent. You're sitting there just controlling the you're driving the bus and directing the conversation, but they're doing all the heavy lifting, and I like that. That's how a host should be.
Part of the reason I'm doing that is I'm also monitoring the chat and looking for comments and questions from the chat that I want to highlight or discuss. Um, One thing that I get a little bit fearful of is I'll see a comment in the chat that I want to discuss, and I need to wait for a break in the conversation to bring it up. So I'll keep that one highlighted, and when I do that, I'm not reading what's going on afterward while I'm waiting. And then when there's finally the break, I bring that up. Now I've got a whole bunch of comments that I've got to go through very quickly to try to catch up with what everyone's been saying. And sometimes I miss what my guests are saying. Yeah, I've had a couple of times where a guest has said something and I'm going, I'm not even sure where he is because I was reading something else while he said that.
Oh, right. Oh, see, like right now, I can see the live chat. I can interact with the live chat. Um, b- Multitasking though, like right now, if there was a troll in the live chat, I'm totally at the mercy of my moderators because I have from my platform right now, I'm not looking at the actual YouTube video. So if someone started trolling in the live chat, I am relying 100% on my moderators to take care to deal with that because I can't do it from where I'm at now. I don't know how you do that.
Trolls trolls who are off topic or who are, just wanting to be antagonistic, I don't have a problem with them. I just simply ignore them. The only trolls that I am concerned with are trolls who are insulting my guest. That I will shut down. But other than that, if someone wants to tell me that I'm full of crap, let them. I don't care.
Yeah.
That's yeah, I actually invite that kind of thing because I'd like to. Why do you think that? What am I saying that you don't find accurate. And let's talk about that.
See, an I don't know, a square root of -1 is on quite often, and can sometimes get on the trolley side a little bit too, but it's some kinda walk that line. But yeah, I've only on Twitter, I've blocked one person, exactly one person, and in the almost 5 years of the course of the show, no one's been blocked or banned on anything, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, anything, just one person on Twitter, that's it, in the entire lifetime of this, so I'm not a banner. I don't block people. I mean, uh, th so the, link to this is in the description section if you wanna grab a cup of coffee and join Kelly and I. We're going to do at least 15 minutes, maybe 30 more minutes. I've basically said everything I've got to say. So to wrap it up, if I had to guess, it I will be going to Poland/Ukraine to help out in some form or fashion. The original plan was to join the Ukrainian Legion in country, and I already had a cop buddy of mine already talked to his chief, and I would be going over there fully kitted out. I don't have the good body armor with the sappy plates right now. I've got some old like Vietnam era Kevlar in the garage, but that's not going to help any. But the good stuff with the ceramic sappy plates, it looks like there would be. I kind of figured there would be a nice amount of support, and boy, they have not. I now that it. Now that my focus has kind of shifted away from the Ukrainian Legion to maybe ideally it looks like United Nations Peacekeeping Force sounds like a great thing, but I've already been on the unv.org site. I've got the ball rolling, but I cannot actually submit my application for any of the gigs they got going over there until I get my renewed passport in the mail, because it won't even let you send your application until it's complete. And to make it complete, you need to have a photo of your uh, active passport, like up-to-date passport. So I'm treading water right now. Could be 3 weeks to a month, ideally. I mean, that'd be the fastest. So in the next 3 weeks to a month, you're not going to notice any difference. I'm still going to upload at least once a week. It's still going to be Atheist Edge. After that, gets iffy. It could be 6 months out. It could be a month from now. But at some point in time, it's going to switch over. Godless Granny is going to, correct me if I'm wrong, you're going to make sure it maybe stays active.
Yes.
Worst case scenario, you will do whatever you do on your channel. You'll wait a week, get all the views you can, and then just re-upload or mirror it onto my channel, at least to keep the algorithm feeding, so the channel will still be around. Worst case, on this end, it'll just be a mirror of Godless Granny. So all my patrons and my channel subscribers, just go ahead and jump. You could jump ship now if you want. I don't care. Best case, Granny's got a little extra time on her hands, and she maybe does a unique live stream directly on my channel. But she'll
I
have all
have
the
an idea
passwords.
for
Yes.
I have an idea for what I want to do, but I need Robin's help, so I can't do it until Robin gets back. But
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you because it's going to be kind of funny.
Okay. Awesome.
And
Edgy
I don't want,
Granny,
yeah,
and you
edgy granny.
put on a fake goatee or something. That'd be even in a ball cap. That'd be funny. So yeah, that's where the channel stands. You're not going to see any huge changes right off the bat. I feel the need, and you know what? 3 million refugees already, and it's just the tip of the iceberg. And it's not. They're coming into Poland, but they're going to, you know, they're hitting. They're getting funneled to a lot of countries over there are taking and stepping up to help out the refugees. The
Do we
UN,
need to do
yes,
a funding stream to help you
that's
get the
another
equipment you
thing.
need?
That's another thing. Once I get the application processed, well, first off, I'm assuming they're going to need a 90% disabled 54-year-old guy, even with military experience. They might not want me. Someone with bad vertebrae and PTSD and 54 years old and 50 pounds overweight. They might not even really want me. I might be doing this all for nothing. Um, if if I get a green light, and plane tickets to Warsaw, I get a one-way ticket to Warsaw, and it's happening. Uh, I mean, that, and then and only then will I actually maybe start a GoFundMe, and it will be kind of a reserve GoFundMe. Like, don't put any money in this unless something goes sideways over there. If I don't come
Mm,
back, and then you'll have all that information as well. My wife will as well, but I think I would like you to kind of have a hand in the GoFundMe too. You'll need the passwords. You'll need access to that GoFundMe account to kind of monitor it, because I'm sure you and maybe some other content creators maybe would want to do maybe some fundraiser kind of deal. But if something bad happens, it's something to try to at least maybe help cover the funeral, or to just get my family started until the transition period, the mourning period, you know, nothing permanent, just something to kind of help them out initially to cope with the change in, lifestyle. That's all. That's the only time I would ever accept like actual money. Thank you, Native Atheist. That's awesome. Um, Now I'm only 30 or 20. I'm very close to a new microphone. I'm going to get a new Yeti. This one's got some major glitches in it. And I'm going to get a Snowball next. I hear that they are way more reliable, the connection, and the quality is
mm.
just about as good. So I'm going to get a Snowball next. So thank you, Native Atheist. Um, yeah, that's the direction of the show. I think, we're not a drama merchant channel, but before we went live, uh, I was talking about, my wife and I are getting along after 6 years. We're actually talking and stuff, and because it looks like the lifestyle that we were used to my whole marriage when I was active duty is about to happen again. Being gone for 7 months out of the year, or in this case, who knows, indefinitely. But my relationship with my wife, we've been separated. It's common knowledge, but we've been separated but cohabitating due to financial reasons, for at least 6 years. And I've been sleeping on the couch. But since I've made the decision to do this, things have really, I mean, our marriage is, so we're in the backyard. That's why I look like crap, because I had too many Bloody Marys. We're in the backyard, just enjoying the koi pond and watching the cardinals build their nest and playing Scrabble on the back porch. It was, and, so the marriage is improving right now. Uh, that being said, um, she said, don't, uh, she has a lot of reservations about me going, of course, but she's breathing a lot easier knowing that, uh, even if all those rumors about how they treat foreign fighters in Ukraine, even if only 1% of those rumors are true, it's still not an outfit I want to be linked up with. I really lost confidence in. Now, I'm not saying if you're this close to going and joining the Ukrainian Foreign Legion, don't let me stop you. I'm just saying that I'm hearing a lot, and everything I hear is unverified. It's not corroborated. Um, so don't let me stop you if that's something you feel like you want to do. What was I saying? Oh, the wife and going overseas. You know, uh, I've been to 43 countries. I've run a marathon. I've slept with 3 women at the same time. I've jumped out of an airplane. In the Marine Corps and in the Navy, if someone says, the word salty has a totally different definition to Navy sailors and Marines. Um, Salty means you're a world traveler because you're on a ship a lot and that salt air. So being salty doesn't mean you like a bad attitude or you got your butt hurt. Salty means that you're experienced. So I'm a salty dog, they call us. I've been to 43 countries, seen, and another saying they say is, I've seen goats fuck in the marketplace. If someone says, "Hey, we're going to Lima, Peru. Have you been there?" And you're like, "Listen, dog, I've seen goats fuck in the marketplace." That means I've been around. That's another way of saying it's not my first rodeo. I'm rambling.
God
Yeah,
equals the
I've
square root
lived.
of
Oh yeah.
God equals the square root of -1 says, "How about you sink some oligarch yachts, Jim?"
Yeah. Are there any parked here in the States still? I wonder how many are getting vandalized all over the earth. There's one. So where is it, on the Black Sea, or is it? It can't leave because they refuse to sell them fuel. It's somewhere. Yeah. Um, so yeah, I think by my reckoning, I've lived 3 lifetimes already. I've lived a full life. And one of the highest, um, the most honorable things in not I'm not a Zen Buddhist, but one of the highest, pinnacles of Zen Buddhism is to be completely free of ambition. So when I tell somebody I have no ambition, my bucket list literally is empty. I've done everything I've wanted to do. My kids are grown. I've seen them graduate college. They've got their own lives. I mean, there's literally nothing left in my bucket list. And people think that's, oh, I'm so sorry for you. Why are you sorry for me? Isn't that the goal? To be completely, you know how liberating it is to have completely free of ambition? Or complete to have your bucket list completely empty. I'm free to go do any like this. I can go do this, and if something does happen, oh well. I lived a great life. Yeah, I'm rambling, Kelly. What else did we? Oh. So before the show, this is not a drama peddling channel. I could name a dozen drama merchants that their channel is based on drama, and this is not one of them. Godless Granny's not one of them. But before the show, we were talking about. Oh, I was on the back porch, and we were playing Scrabble. And if it's just two people playing Scrabble, if you don't get 300 points, you're kind of sucking. I only got 230 points. My wife crushed me. She got three something, right? She just crushed me. And usually it's pretty close. And I started thinking, and she beat me twice in a row. Am I suffering? I'm 54. Am I starting to suffer cognitive decline? And I'm going to give you guys saw me on the hang up or the line. What was it? Matt Dillahunty's thing. You guys saw me on that show and you heard Matt Dillahunty's the reason he had me on the show was to corroborate some of the claims he was making that he was saying in his monologue about, I'm not going to say the names. If you know who they are, you don't know who they are. Uh, well, screw it. I'm going to say the names. Holy Kool-Aid, Thomas Westbrook, who I admire. He's one of the ones that helped me get my channel started. He came to my house once and helped me set up my studio. But I guess he was among the group. I get led by Eric Murphy. That was basically trying to pull a Julius Caesar on Matt Dillahunty, trying to get him kicked off the ACA and like a coup, and trying to put their own people in there. They wanted him off the board of directors. Why would you have the flagship of the entire atheist community of Austin? Why would you want to get rid of him? And that's your cash cow. He's the most popular. I don't understand it, but their justification for it was he's getting up there in age, declining neuroplasticity in the brain, quote unquote, cognitive decline. We need to get some fresh blood in. That was their justification. And really, first off, when you see Matt Dillahunty, does anything even remotely scream out cognitive decline? I think not. That was a flimsy excuse. And so then, yeah, before the show, Kelly told me that Eric Murphy and V La Blanca, is that her name?
Bianca.
Bianca. Um, I don't watch much ACA anymore, but those two, Eric and V, are gone now. And I said, well, did they
Like I
went and did
said, I
something
do
else?
not know that they are gone from the ACA. I know that they are gone from Talk Heathen and they have started their own show, Skeptic Generation. But I do not have sufficient information to say what happened between them and the ACA.
That's this new thing they're doing. It's not connected to the ACA then. So
Like I said, I don't know.
okay. I'm speculating, but maybe Eric, his coup attempt didn't work. So he's like, I'm going to go. He seems like the kind
I
of
know that
chap.
they had a
Yeah.
fall. I know that they had a falling out, but whether that was a complete break falling out or just I don't know. But I do enjoy their new show, Skeptic Generation. It's a very good show.
You know what? If I had to guess, I would be almost certain that if it's this coup attempt is what caused the rift. I mean, why would it not be? Yeah.
Titan says it's not connected.
Oh, it's something else. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. Either way.
I will say though, first Matt Dillahunty, despite the way we look, is considerably younger than I am. I had him on a stream of, age came up as a topic, and I said I'm the oldest one here, and a lot of people didn't believe me, and I said, And Matt made a comment about being millennial. I said, I'm a boomer. When people say, okay, boomers, I am a boomer. I was
Wow.
born in
Okay, yeah.
61. Um,
61. Well, that's not
yeah,
much older.
I'm
Yeah,
not
but
a
Matt
lot
is younger
older,
than
but
me. He's like 52 maybe? Yeah.
mhm, mhm. But I will say that I do know that the memory starts going after 50, because my memory was my best asset. And that is one of the reasons why I am such a fantastic test taker is I listen to something and I can regurgitate it because I have a really good memory. And since I've turned 50, it is really slipping. I have a much easier time remembering what I did when I was 10 than what I did last week. And one of the aspects of that is having trouble with time. Um, I will say, "Oh, that I think last month," and then you look up and verify it. No, it was a year ago. Things that seem like it was just a short time ago to me. And part of that has to do with life perspective. Um, to me, 5 years is not a long time. To me, 1990 was not that long ago. So when I say, "Oh, it was a short time ago," in my mind, I'm thinking, "Oh, that was a few months ago." And in fact, it may have been several years ago. I do have a bit of trouble with that. But, as far as cognitive, I'm fine. It's just that I occasionally have trouble remembering something, particularly people's names. We were doing a stream the other day, and I could not remember Telltale's name. I was going, "That guy," and I can't
I
someone
don't
had
know
to
if I know his
Telltale.
real name.
Well, no, I wasn't even trying to come up with his real name,
Oh.
and in fact, that was actually what was blocking me, as I kept going, "Owen, Owen," and I couldn't remember Telltale because all I could think
Oh,
was Owen, you know?
yeah. You know
It's
what? You might be chalking that up to, like, cognitive decline. That just might be I mean, that happens to everyone, a lot of it, and just for this casual show, look at, all the notes I took just for this casual sit down, drink a coffee. I'm always taking notes anyway, so I've
Mhm.
relied too heavily on notes, and my little 3.5 pound wet wired hard drive just doesn't really store as much information, I think, as most do. I've always been
But
dependent on notes.
yeah, one thing I look at though is, my dad died just a couple months ago at the age of 88, and he had his full cognitive abilities right up till the day he died. Um, e the memory does start going, and there were times when he'd be searching for a word, he can't remember the word, but the reasoning ability was very much still there. The ability to take care of himself and his affairs was very much still there right up to the day he died.
I guess while we're still on the subject of the coup attempt at the ACA, eh, I'm not intentionally disparaging Thomas or Eric. If they did what they did, they should be held accountable. Um, I tend to believe Matt. He's got enough. There's enough evidence there that it actually did occur. There was actually a board member meeting where Eric Murphy walked in, said some things about quote unquote declining neuroplasticity of the brain in older people, and then just happened to have this list he pulled out of his pocket of possible replacements for Matt. Come on, that was planned. That was a et tu brute moment right there. I don't care. There's really no way around that. That being said, uh, I don't have ill will against them. I'm glad it didn't work. I'm glad Matt's still there. Um, I've grown really fond of the guy over time, you person on and off camera. But uh, yeah, that's all I'll say about it. Uh, oh, and we were also talking about um, if you do decide to do something on my channel, you were worried that since I have 8,000 subscribers, you're at 3,000, and you thought I was just so much bigger, and
Yep.
you don't know if you can carry that mantle. And
Yep.
I think I would lose fans for you. And really, have you looked at the quality of your content? That your 17-page scripted, and then I was talking about how your upload quality, your video quality is so much better than mine. And when I do a pre-recorded something, I'm flying through it. Go look at my pre-recorded stuff. I do my best. I'm proud of the work I do, but yours is better. Yours is better, and I'm not just blowing smoke up your ass. It is better quality, and as far as subscriber count, that's one thing, but you pull in more live views per video right now than I do. You're bigger. So if you're worried about that, do not worry. And we were talking about the way you edit smooth transitions. It almost looks like you, and I know you don't do it all in one take because you're a perfectionist. You probably say the same sentence 17 times, but it looks
Mm,
like all in one take.
mhm. It is all in one take in that, I just leave the camera running, and if I make a mistake, I just repeat. Occasionally, I will have to stop and back up the teleprompter, um, to the most recent paragraph and then start it again. But usually, I'm sufficiently I run my teleprompter at the speed of 11, and I will get to the end of the page occasionally and get ahead of it, but I usually make sufficient number of mistakes that I stay on track with it, but every now and then I need to stop it. But yeah, one of the tricks that I learned from watching, Godless Engineer is watch how he changes the, distance to the camera. So when I make a jump cut, if I can't make it and make it look smooth, then I change the view and make it either closer or further away.
That yeah. If you have something important to say, cut to yourself like a close up while you're saying the important part, and then come back. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a. I should do that more often. That is, yeah, a lot of the bigger YouTubers do that. The Gleasons and I don't get along. I'm not going to bring up more drama, but you, if for those of you that do know what happened at Faithless Forum 2, I think it was. Yeah, that's. I don't get along with the Gleasons, but I wish them well. Uh, yeah. So
Digital
if
Hammurabi
you're,
is here in the
yeah.
chat.
Holy crap!
He
Wow.
says, go two back before that.
Oh,
Atheists can't even ground the ultimate of the necessary preconditions of the possible impossible possibilities that provide for and sustain logical ultimacy. What's your response?
this is Dr. Josh, right? Is Digital
Yes.
Hammurabi?
Yes,
Dr.
yes,
Josh?
this is
Oh
Dr.
gosh.
Josh. Uh-huh.
I would
I
love to get
I
him on my show.
I'd be
It,
willing to bet a dollar to a donut hole that this somebody asked him this in a debate, and that's
the
why he's
ultimate
bringing
of
it
the necessary precondition of the puzzle. Oh, okay. Word salad. That, but this is how they talk
up.
sometimes when they're trying to explain something. Speaking of trolls, hi, Dr. Josh. Negative. That is not true at all. I really enjoy his content. Speaking
I
of
do
good
too.
content, holy crap, man. It- yeah, let's try to set something up. And you guys, like I said,
I
you're not going to see any changes in the next month. If I do leave, it's not going to be any earlier than a month, but there's a good chance I might not go at all. Like I was just saying, there's a chance United Nations peacekeeping, UNICEF, they're not going to want a, a 50-pound overweight 54-year-old guy with 90% disabled. There's a good chance I might not go. Still, I haven't even applied to the UN peacekeeping force yet because I'm waiting for my updated. So that being said, the channel, as of for right now, it's still going. And like Dr. Josh, I'd love to get you on the channel, on the show. I'd have to think of a worthy topic. It would have to be something. Yeah, do my homework on it beforehand, though. What were
I
you
oh,
saying, Taylor?
I can give you a worthy topic for Josh. Um, I saw a tweet today that had an article attached to it that was really interesting, and that's what I read during breakfast this morning. Unfortunately, the article was long enough that I finished my breakfast, and I was only 2/3 the way through the article, and so I never did finish the article. But it was a really good article on, uh, biblical archaeology and how so much of the current biblical archaeology doesn't meet up with, biblical claims. And particular, they were talking about some of the claims that David was this ruler of this great kingdom, this united kingdom, and that the archaeology is showing that Jerusalem at the time that David was supposed to have ruled was really a much smaller village or town and was never this great city of this great united kingdom. And I was like, wow. Yeah, that was mind-boggling to me, and I'd be willing to bet a dollar to a donut hole that Josh knows a lot more about that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. As far as I know, see, this would be something to ask him. Like, I am under the impression that King David did exist, and Jericho definitely did exist. Archaeological, we have
Yes,
archaeological
yes,
records,
it did exist,
but
but Joshua
Solomon,
didn't conquer it.
or oh yeah,
It was destroyed 400 years before Joshua would have gotten there.
oh that's mind
That
blowing.
is oh, it is, it is. There's a chapter on that in Dr. Josh's book. I've used Dr. Josh's book, The Atheist's Guide to the Old Testament, volume 1 for the, source for a few of my videos.
Awesome. Serena's, gosh, dog, thank you, man. That put me over the top. I can get my snowball mic now. That's definitely enough. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that right after this show. Well, I'm gonna go play disc golf after this. I got a massive hangover, but I think I could do 20. The one I'm going to is 21 holes. That's about 4.5 miles of walking. That will burn off my hangover. Then I will buy my snowball. Thank you so much, Serena's. He's been a super fan for a long time. If you look at the thumbnail of this video, he's in that video. He's got the Atheist
Mm.
Edge hoodie. Dr. Josh is we were talking about you, subject matter experts in the atheist community. The ones that come to mind are you, student Dr. Ben, Dr. Josh.
I
If
don't
you
consider myself an expert in anything.
just elocution, if nothing else, for starters, just being able to convey, and that is a huge. That is the number one asset we would have as as atheist YouTubers. You know, is being able to
Mm,
get raise the awareness, the actual ability, the talent for getting something across to people.
mhm,
That's huge.
mhm.
It might not be, oh, well, and then your Bible knowledge is just, I didn't know the tulip, the 5 tenets of Calvinism, and that whole thing. You really blew my mind with that.
Well, I was
But
a
Doctor, as
Calvinist
far as
for over a decade.
all right, okay, and Doctor Josh, now that my main Old Testament, when I have an Old Testament question or I want to do a show on it, my go to was Jim Majors, and gosh, damn, for a show that really doesn't like to perpetuate drama, I've been doing it a lot today, haven't I? Yeah, Kelly, you're familiar with what happened with Jim Majors?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
When it first came out, I was willing to give him the benefit of the doubt and willing to say, "Hey, let's give the guy a second chance." But then when I saw the documents that Shannon Q posted that gave more detail of what exactly transpired, that was it. I had one interview with Jim Majors on my channel. I took it down.
Oh,
Um, and yeah, I don't want anything to do with that guy.
my initial reaction was because I'm all about redemption. If you don't have the ability to redeem yourself for a past transgression, you life isn't worth living, in my opinion. I mean, everyone should be afforded the opportunity to redeem themselves if they are willing and they make the effort to do it. It might take you the rest of your life, depending on the transgression, but everyone should have the ability for redemption. But it was a bridge too far. I had to separate
Mhm.
myself from him, and it's heartbreaking. That being said, I don't have an Old Testament guy, and Dr. Josh
Oh, Dr.
he's
Josh is
yes, he's
excellent.
huge though. He's probably
And
not.
his PhD is real.
Snap. Shots fired. But he's so busy. He's not going to be as available as Jim Majors was. But it would be great to get him on the show. Yeah, I don't
Mhm.
have. Oh, and I think another cool idea, or just spitballing here, but I did a 3-part series on comparing the Book of Jonah to Jason and the Argonauts, the older Greek tales, and how the
Yeah, I
Book of
saw
Jonah
that
was a
one.
direct ripoff. It was
Mhm,
with
mhm.
speaking of drama channels, Dragnot. Dragnot is a drama channel, but he's a friend of mine. If you want to make your money perpetuating drama, that's fine. So it was with Dragnot and Beck, B. And yeah, I think it was like a 2 or 3 part video series. If something like if Josh could watch that and then take some notes on it, pick it apart, tell me what I did right, tell us what we did right in the collab and what we got wrong. That might be kind of fun.
I like Native Atheist comment. The Bible is my go-to doorstop.
That's good. There it is. um, We've got 15 minutes left, Kelly. Did we cover everything? Oh, for those of you that don't know the Jim Majors thing, I don't even really care to go into. I don't mind going into it, but in the live chat, if you hadn't heard and you're just dying to know what happened, we could give you the wave tops. Otherwise, I'm just going to leave it there. We got
He
15
pled
minutes.
no
Oh yeah,
low to felony child abuse, and the documents
multiple
from
counts on
multiple counts,
multiple victims.
and the documents that Shannon Q published on Twitter were public documents. They are available to anyone. Show the egregious nature of the vicious attack that he did on a 9-year-old child.
I don't know if this is the same victim, but I'm pushing downstairs too. And yeah, when I learned it was multiple victims, not his children, children of maybe a woman that was living with him or what. The more I dug, oh God, that onion kept peeling and it got worse and worse and worse. If it was one, when I originally heard what happened, I heard uh, one count of felony child abuse, one victim, and he originally pleaded not guilty, and so I'm like, okay, rule, due process. I'm all about due process. Let it be sorted out legally. Maybe it could be a huge, I guess I was trying to justify because we're so close friends. I was trying to please. I was in denial, maybe. Yeah, I was in denial, but then it kept getting worse and worse the more we looked into it, and we have to separate ourselves from that. And some of my fellow YouTubers were like, don't discount them yet. I'm like, okay, you're right. And at one point I just had to. It was so earlier when I was talking about I've cut one person from my social media and I'm not going to have back on the show. That's what I was talking about. And it's heartbreaking because we were so tight. We were really good friends on and off camera. All right. So 10 minutes left. For those of you that Beej. I haven't seen Beej in forever. Super fan. She's everywhere. Oh, thanks for
I
showing
like
up.
Beach.
She's awesome.
She has really good comments.
Yes. Her and Laura Jarrell. I haven't seen much of her lately, but she's all over the place. She's ubiquitous too. And of course, Randy and Native Atheist. Serena's. Okay, so I'll just, for those of you that just joined, here's the short version. I may or may not be going overseas to Poland/Ukraine to help out in some sort of NGO. I'm going to just throw my feelers out. Ideally, I'd like the original plan was Ukrainian Foreign Legion as a combatant. For a number of reasons that I've already spelled out, that's not going to happen. I've lost confidence in that unit, but I'm looking at United Nations peacekeeping forces, helping out with refugees, border transports to and from the big cities in Ukraine, maybe trying to get them to the border. I would love to do that. Something to utilize my skill set, like compound perimeter security, some sort of security forces. I would love to do that, but I'm trying to get over there. The process is going slower than I had anticipated. But if it does happen, Godless Granny's going to take the channel. I'm going to give her all the, she originally had some hesitation having access to all my passwords. There's a reason why you were my first choice. And I told you on our first telephone call, I said, don't make a decision right now. Give yourself sleep on it. And I know you have hesitation having password. You would have passwords to my Google password, because that's what YouTube is. You would have my Google password, all my social media, because I don't know if it's not too much trouble while I'm gone. It doesn't take a lot to keep Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram active. Just maybe once a day, once every other day. Just keep it. Sometimes I just throw
I don't have an
a funny
Instagram
religious
account.
meme on there.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to start an Instagram. Figure out how to use Instagram. I've
Cool
not
thing
done
about
that yet.
Instagram is you can link it to your Facebook. So if you update Instagram, it also updates the Atheist Stage Facebook page. It automatically posts to it. So you can, if you do it through Instagram, you don't even have to touch the Facebook. And it can be something like upcoming show. on Godless Granny or Atheist Edge or
Mhm.
or Edgy Granny. You got to get a ball cat, an Atheist
I
Edge
need a hat and
hat.
a shirt. Yes, that was
Yes,
one thing I figured out of
Atheist
third away this show is I've gotta get myself a hat and a shirt.
and a fake goatee that's really increasingly going gray. When I started this channel, this gray really. Go back and look. It's it's aged me this doing this. So yeah, she's going to take over. Uh, uh, and how long will I be gone? Who knows? So it's not 100% I'm going. Uh, when I do go, who knows how long I'll be gone? 3 months. I've seen 3 month gigs. I've seen 6, 7 month. I've seen year-long gigs. I've seen indefinite. Um, Edgy Granny, yeah, Beach. That's what she's. That's going to be her name when she is on this channel. So that's basically what's happening. As of right now, nothing's going to change. You're not going to see. But if you're a patron, like Serenus is in here, Serenus is a patron, and I think maybe even a channel. My channel members and my patrons. If you want to jump ship now, go to Godless Granny or some other content creator that you enjoy, and funnel your donations over there. If you want to do it now, get ahead of the game. That would be great. I,
I
I
don't
have no
need the
problem with that.
donations. I need the subscribers and the views.
All right.
Mhm.
I rest on my laurels. My content
Mhm.
quality has not gone up in the last 2 years, and I've been leveled out at 8,000 subs for 2 years out of my 5. So I'm pretty
Mhm.
much plateaued at 8,000. I don't expect to ever get to 10,000. And like I said, your total views per week per video is already higher than mine.
Mhm.
So yeah, I
The
don't.
one that I just released yesterday is kinda lagging a bit, which surprised me because I thought it was a pretty good video. It's a very serious video, although I did add one very humorous element to it. Um, I I I wanted to do a picture of myself going across the screen in a car, and so I looked for an image of a car, and when I Googled car, the first thing that came up was one of these toy, toddler cars, these plastic ones by Little Tikes, and I said, "Oh, Granny in that little car zooming across the screen would be hilarious." And so that's what I did, and that's what I put on the thumbnail as well. That's actually a very small part of the video is the avatar of Granny zooming across the screen in the little toy car. But that was the humorous part of a very serious video.
Who's the couple? They're both Australians. They're Nervardia and not Jaw Witness. Not Jaw Witness.
Right,
Yeah, they're both
mhm,
in Australia. I don't know if they're still together or not, but they're both content creators. Not Jaw Witness. Every once in a while, I ask other creators to make a intro for me, and it's just a 5 to 10 second. Hi, I'm Noel Plum, and you're watching Atheist Edge. It's just easy as that. But some people get creative. Nutjaw did put his face, his avatar face, on a skateboarder that's going down this super steep hill, like in San Fran, and then crashes into a car off camera. And he's like, "Hi, I'm Nutjaw Witness, and you're watching Atheist Edge." It was really funny. I like it.
I've been trying to get a new intro for quite some time. The intro that I have was made for me by a guy by the name of Rev Trellos. And I met him on Twitter, and he's a young kid in Pakistan who made it for me back when I was first starting and I was just learning how to edit. And I didn't know how to do an intro at all. But what surprised me is that I've asked a number of people and even offered to pay them to make me a new intro, and I haven't been able to get any takers.
No, no, collab. You know the power of collabs, Kelly, right? That is
Mhm.
a perfect chance to collab with everybody. I've, Hi, I'm Matt Dillany. I'm Aaron Raw, and you're watching Godless Granny. It's as easy as that. 8 seconds, and
Okay.
you'd be surprised how creative some of these people get. I mean, it's great. And there's opening now. I've got first off, the ones I've got are stale. Thomas Westbrook, he's done it. He's done three. Tony Magnabosco down in San Antonio, he's done like 3 for me because they keep getting stale. And I said, "Hey, Anthony, can you do an updated one?" And he went out of his way. He took an afternoon, and he's just with his GoPro on a selfie stick, walking around and doing all different versions of how you're watching Atheist Edge. Some people go out of their way, so it's just a matter of putting your feelers
Just
out there.
ask. Okay.
And
That
there's
sounds
one I
good.
can't play anymore as of a couple weeks ago. Hi, I'm Dr. Jim Majors and you're watching Atheist Edge. So there, yeah, I need a replacement for that one. If any content creators are watching, if Dr. Josh is still watching, hint, hint, I would love. Hi, I'm Digital Hammurabi, and you're watching Atheist Edge. That'd be cool. Just saying.
Beach has an interesting comment there. She said, I just realized that a lot of Pakistani atheists have gone quiet, like the ones in Egypt did. I'm wondering if that's a signal that there's some kind of crackdown against atheists by maybe the Muslim community.
There's a guy I was having on the show. He's in Cairo. He's Egyptian. And well, it was technical issues. Well, no, work took him to the coast, and he wasn't near Wi-Fi. Well, so we're gonna reschedule that. But I've always been in awe of non-believers in countries where, at best, it's really frowned upon, and you could get some major. You'd become a social leper if they found out. All the way to, yeah, your life is on the line. You know, I've admired the bravery of, gosh damn. And it's easy to say, well, just go move. Well, moving isn't always the logistically
Sometimes you
possible.
can't.
Yes.
Sometimes, yeah, the government won't always let you go. In some of those countries, you need permission from the government to leave.
I've been fired twice for being an atheist here in Texas. I've had a Darwin fish ripped off the back of my bumper in a Walmart parking lot. I've had my vehicle egged twice, but I'm out there flapping in the wind. I mean, all my neighbors know this is Atheist Edge on Google Maps. If you do Google Maps of my neighborhood, you'll see Atheist Edge. YouTube.com/atheist edge. You know how like business names on certain houses, like people work out of their houses, crafts or whatnot. So I mean, I'm totally out there, but that's the worst I've had. My brother still says, why are you still living in podunk, deep red Texas? Go to Seattle or San Fran, or at least Austin, right? Portland. I say,
But
no, well,
they
I
need us
could move.
here.
I totally could move, but this is where the fight is. There's a reason why. There's a reason why the ACA, the American Atheist, it's all right here in deep red Texas, R and Raw, and Seth Andrews is just 3 hours up the road. There's a reason we're down here fighting a good fight. I don't know what to make of this, Maya. I think that was a double meaning, wasn't it? Yes, I caught it. Yeah, no, stay in Texas and vote. That's a really good point. Oh, what were you saying, Kelly? See, I stepped on you.
No, I was saying exactly what you said, that we're needed exactly where we are. Because if we leave, the Republicans win. The voice of the Christian nationalists win.
Yep. Beto's running again. Texas. Were you watching the last presidential election? I knew it wasn't going to last forever, but for the first 3 or 4 hours, Texas was blue. I was like, what? But all the mail-in votes get counted first, so everything looks blue originally, and then the red starts coming in towards the later in the evening. She meant. Oh, there was not a double meaning. I thought she was trying to say I am out of my mind, though. Yes.
I thought she was saying that you were out of the closet.
I didn't even catch. See, a triple entendre. Okay, so that's where we are. That's what's happening. I would like to just publicly thank you, Kelly, for stepping up. And at best, this is going to be a cramp it's going to take up some time. At worst, I don't want to taking up more time than you're willing to give. But just the fact that you're stepping up while I'm gone to keep the social media running and to something that will feed the algorithm. It could be repeats of your Godless Granny show, or it could maybe a unique live stream directly on Atheist Edge, but something that keeps the channel. I would be happy if, let's say I don't come back, if you let the social media sites go away but keep the 700 videos I got on the channel, just keep them archived, and you've got access to the passwords. You can go in there and just keep it active, at least so it's archived, so people can access the 700 episodes that are in there already. That would be good enough for me. but I don't get a say if I don't come back. So yeah. All right. Do you want do your plugs, Kelly? We got a couple minutes. Any
Okay.
upcoming events?
Yes, on Wednesday, I have Don't Be Deceived coming on my channel to talk about why Calvinism is a coherent theology. I don't remember offhand the exact topic, but basically, we're going to be discussing one of the aspects of Calvinism. Um, and I currently have a video that I just released called Searching for the Evidence. Dr. Jonathan Latchey recently posted on Twitter a complaint that atheists continually go after the low-hanging fruit and do not address robust apologetics. And one thing that surprised me is that he considered Gary Habermas to be one of the low-hanging fruit of Christian apologists.
Hmm.
And so somebody responded to him asking, well, what do you consider to be robust apologetics? And his response was to link an article that he wrote. So I did a response to his article and said, challenge accepted. There you go.
Wow. Okay, that's awesome. And uh, April 4th, I'll be at the Arlington Universalist Unitarian Church talking about uh, atheism, positive role model, how to be a good example. It's called Ambassadors of Atheism. Little 30-minute talk. There's more details on my social media. And I'm currently working on a follow-up to that video I did on the what I believe is the best argument for the existence of God, which, spoiler alert, I think fine-tuning argument is their best argument. So I already did a video on that. You can see that on my channel. I'm doing a follow-up. What is the best argument for the non-existence of God? And so I'm still working on that one. It's a slow process, but I'm going to go play some disc golf and work off this hangover. And thank you so much, Kelly. And we will
Thank you
talk
for
to you all
having
next
me.
time. Yeah.